Cartoon Dumpster Dive is covering Halloween Is a Grinch Night. Why I wouldn't cover that cartoon for $6.66. Happy Halloween, Joel.
Happy
Pre-Halloween, because it won't be quite Halloween when this comes out, but it'll be close.
Yeah, it's
it'll
like
be
the
Halloween
week of.
Eve.
Yep. It's around the corner, man. Are you ready for your Halloween, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm ready for Halloween.
You gonna give out candy? You going trick or treating? What you doing?
I'm gonna celebrate my anniversary with my wife, and then we'll probably hand out candy later.
1 year anniversary, Andrew.
That's right.
Yep. And what a way to ring it in. Halloween, and then also, baby in less than a month, basically.
Yeah, just a quick heads up to everyone. After this episode, we might take a break. Like, it might happen suddenly because my child will be born very soon.
Yeah, this could be the last cartoon dumpster dive with Andrew for a while.
Just for a little bit.
Yeah, just for a little bit. I might bring on some, special guests, some people that we've had on here before to kind of pick up the missing hole, the vacuum that is going to be Andrew leaving.
My presence.
Exactly. But it should work out.
It should work out fine. And what a better way to encapsulate Halloween better than for Cartoon Dumpster Dive, at least for a Halloween themed special, and two, just one that nobody remembers at all, but with one of the most popular Dr. Seuss characters.
I had no idea this mini series or this mini TV special.
Yeah, it's just like a 1 episode special, and it's not even long, like a movie. It's like just a 25-minute episode.
Yeah. I had no idea this was a thing until you mentioned it to me over a week ago, and I was like,
yeah,
okay.
When we were deciding what we were doing.
Yes.
But yes, this week we are covering Halloween Is a Grinch Night.
Yes.
Now, it doesn't have a theme song, so there's nothing to rate there. So I suppose we could just jump into how this got made.
Yeah, we can jump in. Really, with this one, everyone knows how the Grinch stole Christmas. I don't think there's a person out there that doesn't know about that story.
Yeah, very true.
It's interesting because it's basically the prequel to the Grinch.
So I always thought this came first because it just makes sense first. But
you thought it was aired first, the book. This actually came before How the Grinch Stole Christmas?
Yeah, I did. But, I mean, now looking into it, this came out in 1977, and How the Grinch Stole Christmas, that television special, it came out in 1966.
Correct, yeah. So this was...
that's very interesting to me.
Yeah, so the book, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, was written in 1957. And then, like you said, the animation, the cartoon that I think everyone grows up with, 1966.
Yep.
And then 11 years later, basically Dr. Seuss, he is just like, hey, I want more of a backstory to the Grinch.
Yeah. So weird.
And he wrote Halloween Is Grinch Night. And it got, turned into a a an episode. It's mini.
It's like
TV
a one episode Halloween special that airs on
can't,
ABC.
Yeah, I can't call it anything else but just a mini TV special.
It's almost like a mini-sode, even before those were a thing. It was like a mini-sode about the Grinch.
Exactly, but this, like we said, it's a prequel. If you ever wondered, why is it that everybody was scared of the Grinch? I think it's because he did shit like this to the people of Whoville.
One of the only ABC television specials to be produced by Dr. Seuss Enterprises, so that's pretty cool.
It's got a lot of cool little things like that. But really, it was just Dr. Seuss wanted more with the Grinch. He
wanted more Grinch before everybody went crazy. Because there's like, what is it? There are like 2 other movies about the Grinch. One with Jim Carrey and the other one with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yep. So yeah, there was that one, and then I know there was like the new CGI movie. That's the one with Benedict Cumberbatch, and then there was
nobody really wanted or
a Jim Carrey. Apparently, some people, younger people, love the new Grinch movie with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, really? I've never watched it. I mean,
but
I don't know why I would. I like the original the best. Like,
I like the original
old feel.
I like the original the best, and honestly, I'll watch the live action one with Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of like cartoon specials for Christmas, for some reason, I think they all need to have like a very old feel. Like they all just need to feel like they've been around longer than like the dawn of time.
Yeah, and you know what's funny though? With how much people love how the Grinch stole Christmas and the Grinch as a whole, it's funny that the Halloween Is Grinch Night never got a reboot, never got a following. People do not care.
This is the day and age where like everyone loves Halloween now. I feel like it's the devil's birthday. I mean, even especially down here in the South. It used to be people down here hated Halloween for whatever reason. And it's like there are advent calendars for Halloween.
Yeah.
Halloween is like this super duper celebrated holiday. And I think it has a lot to do with like Gen X and millennials really gassing it up. Because, I mean, Halloween, like it's getting to the point where Halloween's a lot like Christmas.
Dude,
like you start seeing like Target and everything start throwing out decorations in like September.
Yeah, no, it's to me Halloween. Like growing up, Halloween was always fun, but there was a point where after a certain age where you stop going trick or treating, it was pointless.
Yeah, like Halloween is just for like a very large portion of your life. Halloween is just a day. I don't think it's like I would say from like 5 to 13, if you're lucky, you can go trick-or-treating. And then from like 13 to about 18, where you can start doing like, I don't want to advocate underage drinking, but it happens. But when you start going to parties again, like more adult parties, that's when you can do like dress up and do Halloween bullshit again.
Yeah, but it's definitely become one of the major holidays, in my opinion. I mean, you got people decorating their house for like Halloween, like in lights and stuff like that.
Oh,
like
yeah.
It's just
some
crazy.
of this shit was unheard of. Like you can drive around neighborhoods for Halloween decorations now. That was not a thing when I was growing up. People like you can't do that.
Yeah, but really that's the creation of it. Nothing crazy more than just Dr. Seuss wanted more of a backstory to the Grinch. I know just from doing the research, I know the voice actors. Right. They had to get some different voice actors from.
Yes, the original voice actor for the Grinch passed away before he could
really
do this one. Yeah,
take up the mantle again. So who
Boris
did they get?
Karloff was the Grinch in the How the Grinch Stole Christmas. However, the voice cast for Halloween Is a Grinch Night is Hans Conried is the Grinch and the narrator. Hal Smith is Josiah. Gary Shapiro is Euchariah. Irene Tedrow is Maria. Jack Dillon is Sergeant Samuel McPherson. And Henry Gibson is Max.
Okay.
For our other works, we have... So Hans Conried is Captain Hook in Walt Disney's Peter Pan.
Okay.
Hal Smith is Owl in The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Gary Shapiro is Fake Joey in Till Death.
Fake
Looks
Joey?
like a sitcom. I don't know. Looks like a sitcom with like Ray's older brother from Everyone Who Loves Raven. Irene Tedrow is Aunt May in the 1978 The Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
Jack Dillon is Mr. Mary in Allison is Watching. There's also additional crew in The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. And finally, Harry Gibson is Haven Hamilton in Nashville.
Okay.
So, Joel, did you watch this?
I attempted to. I'll probably watch the first 10 minutes of it.
That's fine. Let me set a scene for you then.
Okay.
In Whoville, each Halloween, a sour, sweet wind blows, and a chain of events causes the Grinch to basically go fuck with Whoville. If I was narrating it, that's how I would do it. It's like these tree stump guys, they start to growl, and then the water becomes the boil, and then these Loch Ness monster things start to howl, and that wakes up the Grinch and goes, all right, time to be on my bullshit and go down to Whoville.
Time to just mess with them.
Yeah, Whoville just locks down. They're like, we've got no fight. just batten down the hatches and hope that you can not be caught by the Grinch so he won't mess with you.
Yeah, the Who's don't seem very confrontational with people.
Which is weird because that one sergeant guy, they have an army, so to speak, enough to have a sergeant. But then he's like, I'm just here to tell you guys what he's doing. I'm not going to go fight him.
I think that's more just for show. You know, it's to intimidate, but they will never actually fight anybody.
Yeah. So basically, that's all that this is. So all this stuff happens, and the Grinch comes down, and every time they talk about they won't go outside on a Grinch night, it starts off with $1.50. And then as they keep saying, like as they keep singing it, the price in which they won't go out keeps getting higher and higher and higher. I think the highest they get to is $60,000.60. That's the amount of money that they wouldn't even think about going outside for $60,000.60.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Another good joke in this is we have Euchariah. He's our young hero, so to speak. He's got to go outside and he go to use the bathroom because they got an outhouse. And instead of I got to go to the bathroom, he's like, I got to go out and use the euphemism. And she's like, his dad's like, you can't use the euphemism on tonight. Nobody uses the euphemism tonight. He goes, well, I got to go use it. And basically the sour sweet winds blow him all the way up the mountain. And, he meets the Grinch and he's like, are you the Grinch? And he goes, am I the Grinch? And, another good one is, Euchariah wears glasses. So they're
Yeah.
like, and he's like, you know something, Mr. Grinch? I like you with my glasses off. And the Grinch is like, well, you put your glasses on and face facts, young man. I'm the Grinch.
You're
And
you're so ugly and hideous. I can only look at you when I can't see anything.
yeah, I mean, in the Christmas special of this song, they got that whole thing about like the Grinch is like this disgusting fucking dude.
Yeah, you wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole or something like that.
Exactly. So in this one, we have a super sad song sung by Max, who basically admits that he is a slave to the Grinch.
Huh.
And the Grinch took him away from his loving aunt to enslave him. And so that's why he pulls the cart and everything.
Okay.
And what really is kind of weird is so Max leaves the Grinch in this, which is what made me always think it was a sequel, not a prequel. Which means there has to be at some point in time, like Max leaves the Grinch to go live with Euchariah and his family, which means there has to be at some point between Halloween Is a Grinch Night and the How the Grinch Stole Christmas, where Euchariah's family kicks out Max for some reason and has to go crawling back to his abuser. So that's a little fucked up, wouldn't you say?
That's totally fucked up.
I was just like, wait a minute. Wow. There's also a very strange animation sequence that's like, so the Grinch has like this cart, and so Euchariah is like he's trying to stop the Grinch from getting to Whoville, basically. So he's riding around in a cart, and Euchariah is trying to be like, hey Grinch, why don't you mess with me? You know that, and he's like, yeah, you're not worthy of a full Grinching. You didn't even know who I am. And then he does stop him again, and there's like this 10-minute or so animation sequence of just off the wall, like crazy Dr. Seuss trippy stuff, where it's like you read the milligrams of your edibles wrong. And you're like, I thought you said this was 20 milligrams. Like, no, dude, this is 200 milligrams. You're like, oh, no.
I know I only watched a solid 10 minutes of it, but I did kind of skip around to different sections of it. And I mean, honestly, 10 minutes is like half of the shit.
Yeah, it's
honestly.
not much.
It seems very sporadic. Like,
oh yeah, it's a strange one. I mean, I highly suggest anybody who's into Halloween and Dr. Seuss watch it, because a ton of people do not know that this thing exists.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, if you're a really big fan of the Grinch and maybe Halloween, then yeah, watch it. If not, don't watch it. Don't waste your time with it, honestly.
So, and we'll fast forward past the animation sequence. Euchariah tells the Grinch, he's like, you smell anything? And he goes, no, I don't smell anything. He goes, that's right. The sour sweet winds have stopped, which means all the other chain of events stopped. And he goes, that means the Grinch has to go back home. So he never made it back to Whoville. And it ends with him like another song, as these things often do. And he's like, I'll be back again real soon. So I guess there needs to be like an in-between movie of Thanksgiving where it's like the Grinch shows up drunk at Euchariah's house and asks for Max back. Give me back my dog. And Max is like, please don't let me go back with him.
So, like, it's funny because I read that nowhere in this actual show do they ever actually say the word Halloween.
Yeah. And during its physical media distribution in 1992, they just dropped the Halloween and they just say it's Grinch Night. But yeah, they never once say that this is Halloween.
And the only, because they originally released on like October 29th. So it was like a Halloween special. They never actually mentioned Halloween. And apparently, I mean, you said so yourself that it's not really like a set time on their calendar in Whoville. It's just when
the sour sweet winds start to blow. So in like this, I guess the Seussiverse,
I guess it could happen.
This can happen at any point in time.
It could be back to back. You could have a double header going on.
Yeah, I know it. Like Euchariah, and like he can't do that every night. He can't just take the full Grinching by himself.
No, it's a pretty crazy story.
It's hell on earth for these Who's. You'd think they'd do something about it. Like they're like, hey, he's just one guy, right? And he's just green and furry. Like there's nothing much about the Grinch.
We could probably just build a prison, and he would be the only person in there.
They could pull a Donald Trump and build a wall around the mountain, and it'd probably work out. I'm sure there's like at least one Who Trump. He's like, why don't we build a wall? I don't know.
Why don't we build a wall? It was great. It was a great conversation.
Joke I've ever made.
I think. Well, like in the Jim Carrey one, the mayor of the town was kind of him, if I remember correctly. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked.
Donald Trump in the media. Catch it next time on Cartoon Dumpster Dive.
It's one of those things. It makes me wonder if, because Dr. Seuss wanted just more history to the Grinch, is this the reason why everybody hates the Grinch? Because he just occasionally, like, there's no rhyme or reason. It's just, hey, when this sweet, sour smell, blows into town, I'm going to just come harass you guys. Is that why everyone hates him? I think that's what
that is. They're like, there has to be a reason that everyone's so afraid of him.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's pretty funny because in the original one, they never interact until the very end.
Exactly.
In The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, like Cindy Lou Who, but I guess she was just too young to know what was up about him.
But I know in the 2000 Jim Carrey live action Grinch.
Oh yeah, they had all sorts of extra stuff.
They did a whole backstory of the Grinch in that, which makes me wonder, are they saying that the live action story that's the actual canon of the Grinch, that's the canon story? Or are they going to go off of
the words canonical and the Grinch go together, Joel?
I
just don't think that that's a thing.
You don't think people,
No, I don't think there's a deep, rich lore in Dr. Seuss.
I like to
fandom.
I like to think there was a small group of fans out there that they all do.
There probably is. There's a small group of fans, fringe group of fans of everything.
Yeah.
I could bet you money right now, there's probably people who are sexually attracted to the Grinch, despite him being just a furry green man thing.
Yeah.
Who's got a pear-shaped body, but they're like, oh man, that's my Grinch daddy or whatever. Definitely seems like a Gen Z or millennial type of thinking.
Yeah.
But I mean,
yeah, no, I'm now just trying to think of like, I'm trying to put my head in a space of talking to someone and they're just like, oh, the Grinch all day long. Like that's their like one person that they would just, no questions asked, just sleep with them. And I'm like, the Grinch? Really?
There probably is. There's been a TikTok trend that I've seen where it's like, it's called like Disney crushes that I have that get more alarming as the list goes on. And it's like It starts off pretty normal, like you're like Snow White and everything, and then it gets to like the girl car from Cars.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay.
Or like Nala from The Lion King, and you're just like, this is weird.
So, funny thing about this, this Dr. Seuss TV special was considered infamous for its subliminal messages involving occultism.
So I was actually going to say, because earlier you mentioned how, maybe this didn't take off because, we're talking about what, 45 years ago now?
Yeah, pretty much.
Halloween wasn't as big back then, and it was, because a lot of people thought Halloween was a very satanic holiday.
Yeah. So, rumoredly, or back then, that's what parents thought.
Yeah.
Like,
so
if you celebrate Halloween, you're celebrating Satan.
But
that's what the devil sounds like.
Yeah. Doesn't actually make, words.
He's like, what were my sins, devil? He's like,
okay. But yeah, no, I can totally see that with it being 45 years ago, something that is focused on just Halloween itself, and you got the Grinch, this evil character. I could see, yeah.
Would you also guess that this certain Halloween special is also considered by some as communist propaganda? Because of the way the Grinch sings the eyebrow song, he sings it in a quote-unquote communist Russian text.
Interesting.
There are also, they say that the ghost in the Grinch's wagon resembled a Ku Klux Klan, and another creature with 4 legs looks like a swastika.
I've always heard crazy stuff like that with Dr. Seuss. Like,
and like you don't have to go that far, because like there are like real things that were kind of like not great about Dr. Seuss. Like before he made kids books, he made a bunch of like not great illustrations of black people, and that's been like known. So if this is news to you, listener, I'm sorry that you had to find out this way, but
you've ruined Dr. Seuss for someone right now. They're like, no!
Those of you with more of like I don't want to say a softer outlook, but maybe this kind of stuff is like not what you want to see. Don't Google like Dr. Seuss blackface art or whatever. You'll have a bad time.
Yeah. But I mean, it would make sense if there are those elements in this, just because you think about the 70s, you're talking about Dr. Seuss probably grew up during World War II. He was probably a super racist, all of this stuff.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, Joel and I both grew up in the South, so like we both have grandparents that were just like, they're a product of their environment, man. I don't really want to talk about it.
Yeah, no, that you can't help. There is that thing where sometimes you're a product of your time, and where you grow up at. But yeah, it would just make sense if there are things like that in Dr. Seuss that it's not too surprising,
But Joel, I think it's time to move to your new reoccurring segment, reviews that are a Halloween and reviews that got Grinched.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So, all right, so Andrew, this is a 1 out of 10 titled Satanic.
Oh,
it's pretty great. It's basically everything we just talked about. So
okay,
here it
good.
goes. For a long time, as a mere girl in 1994, I was liking this TV special, but now I've seen that I was wrong. I've reviewed this thing on DVD and got creeped out by the subliminal messages that are related to occultism, such as characters resembling Nazi signs and KKK members. The Grinch is a total sorcerer that made his eyebrows fly while rhythmically chanted in a Russian text. One song mentioned that the Grinch blasphemies as another literature substitute the word. And another song had a reference to the mark of the beast by the number of money. I'm shocked that Dr. Seuss was working on something like this. I chuck the DVD and will stick with the other Grinch specials that aren't that creepy. And I do not mean that live action headache from 2000. So yeah, basically everything you just mentioned.
That's like a very mom review. It's got Satan in it.
It is, but at the same time, if you feel this, okay. So here's my little. I'm going to get on my soapbox and just kind of complain about people. But if this is how you feel so, such one way about this character, this thing that Dr. Seuss created. Why are you supporting any of the other things? If you think
it was weird that she went back and was like, I'm going to just watch the Dr. Seuss that I like and just remain ignorant about everything else. That is kind of odd.
Yeah, that's to me, I'm like, okay, so what you're saying is that Dr. Seuss created this character and you feel like this character is satanic, but you know what? I just won't watch the one that makes me feel uncomfortable. I'll just watch the ones that make me feel happy.
Maybe in the How the Grinch Stole Christmas, he was against the commercialism about Christmas. So in their eyes, the Grinch is a warrior for the Lord.
He turned away from his satanic ways and then became born again, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm tired. He's stealing the gifts and the Christmas trees with pagan ritual, and he's stealing all that shit because you guys need to focus on the real reason for the season, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And then some who would be like, didn't you used to worship Satan? And he's like, we don't talk about that. I was saved. He's like one of those guys who's like really into drugs, and you stop hanging out with him, and then he comes back and he's like, have you accepted the Lord Jesus Christ? I'm like, I once saw you snort cocaine off a clown's boner, man. I don't want to get involved with anything that you're involved into.
So now that you bring this up, it makes me
clown's boner?
Yes, clown's bonus. Now that you bring up clown's bonus. No, just this whole thing about, it's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It's almost like he's being born again. He's coming around, seeing the light. It makes me want to read a lot more about Dr. Seuss, the man. Because I know that the Grinch, he has said that when he wrote How the Grinch Stole Christmas, that was the easiest book for him to write. It took him like 3 weeks to write it. And he has said that the Grinch was based off of himself. And
oh my God. We've just connected the dots. Mystery solved.
So I'm wondering if, because I know apparently when he wrote How the Grinch Stole Christmas, I just kind of saw one sentence. I really haven't, dove into it, but it seems like there was some really rough things going on in his life around Christmas time when he wrote it. So I'm wondering did something change in those 11 years? Or not really 11 years, more 20-something years from when he originally wrote How the Grinch Stole Christmas to when he followed it up with this. Like, did he become a Satanist or something like that?
Ooh, possibly. Or maybe he just wanted to make it scary because it was Halloween and people were just reading into it too much.
Yeah, maybe
or he worships the devil. There's no in between.
Maybe it's just as simple as that. As just he's you know, trying
So
to make
what was
something
your
scary.
inspiration to Halloween Is a Grinch Night? Oh, I worship the devil.
Yeah.
Oh,
So the next one, Andrew, I still got to do my 10 out of 10.
okay. There is a 10 out of 10. That is really surprising.
There's actually a few 10 out of 10s. This has a following for sure.
A cult following, you'd say? Ba-na-na.
So this one is a 10 out of 10 titled Sure Gonna Miss That Grinch Night Ball. This is from my childhood and I watch it all the time. I've always loved this movie, but if there were changes made to it, I would never watch it. Hal Smith does a voice. Hans Conried as the Grinch, and I love the music. Some people say odd things about this movie. It was the last movie me and my dad watched together, and to this day, for many years, every Halloween, for my mom's Halloween card, I tell her to watch out for the Paraphernalia wagon. I guess whatever wagon he has.
Paraphernalia wagon.
Yeah, paraphernalia wagon. But that's it. So that's the review. The guy just loves it.
Okay. That's fine. So I guess any closing thoughts on Halloween As a Grinch Night?
Don't watch it. No, not because of because it's satanic or anything like that. No, just because I thought
it's just not good.
It was just boring to me. I mean,
I'll counteract that. Just skip to the weird animation part because that part's actually pretty cool. The rest of it is very boring.
I mean, you can
save
find
yourself 26 minutes of time. You can find it all on YouTube, but don't watch the whole thing. Let us watch the whole thing for you, and then just badly tell you about it.
And honestly, what you mentioned, that's basically what I did. I just skipped around until I found interesting scenes and watched that. But yeah, that's it. That's the Grinch movie that no one really knows
needed
about
or wanted, really. Yep. All right. Well, I believe that wraps everything up. If you'd like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/cartoondd. There we have a $5 tier that gets you onto our Discord, and we'll send you some stickers in the mail. I just ordered our newest stickers, so you can either go onto that Patreon tier and get them, or you can just buy them straight out, and I'll figure out a price later. We have a Twitter handle CartoonDD. If you'd like to reach us on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, that's all Cartoon Dumpster Dive. You can go to our website, cartoondumpsterdive.com. There you can request a cartoon, or you can send us an email at cartoondumpsterdive@gmail.com. And as always, we appreciate a 5-star review on whatever podcasting platform you listen on. Hope you have a great Grinch night. Don't worship Satan, or do. See ya.
Happy Halloween.
Because that is the number of the devil.
The devil of the beast.
Oh. Satan. Sometimes I just want to start like a band.
This has been a Lug Hole podcast.